That takes a second. So, hey, cut it out. You guys, stop it. Cats, cut it out.
Ah, it's
What was that?
It was the live thing.
Oh,
Because I'm subscribed on YouTube.
that's awesome. Which also means that this is already live, which means hello, everyone. I am Erica Leonis. I am the Media Relations Liaison for Hellscream and Haunted Minds, Hellscream Entertainment. We also are going to include Scorched Earth Farm later this year, hopefully. We'll let you know more on that later. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We decided that with self-isolation going on and everything kind of, the way it is right now, that we're going to do some monster checkups. And first today, to really help me bring in this new show and this new identity, is Miss Nibbles the clown.
Hello.
Nibbles, say hello. Hi,
Hello.
hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm bored.
So last time we talked to you, you were being babysat during our last live stream last week by Beetlejuice.
There was no sitting on babies.
Tell me.
Yes.
Okay. I will see you. I'm on a different screen right now, but tell me a little bit about how or why you're no longer being babysat. Like what changed?
It got a little chaotic with a clown and another clown and Beetlejuice. And outside of Nibbles, it was very chaotic and very it was a lot. It was lots of clown energy. So I guess one clown per household is probably good for now.
I mean, I can imagine that. So I also want to talk to again. I just want to let everyone know. I think we cut in a little bit later than I anticipated on the stream. That we are doing a new show called Meet Our Monster Checkup, and we signed today with Miss Nibbles the clown. So, sorry, I have so many questions. So behind this character is a lovely actress. Would you like to introduce yourself and what haunt you're with?
My name is Dolores, and I've been with Hellscream Entertainment for the past 2 years. I've worked with Hellscream the past 2 years as a makeup artist and then a runner for my second year. And I've done a lot of escape rooms and lots of events with the haunts, and it's been amazing. I can't express how happy I am to be in this company with everybody. I've made a lot of friends and family.
That's God, I just got chills. So I remember you telling me a little bit about how before you started with Hellscream, you were nervous about the whole thing. Like you weren't exactly sure about it. You want to talk a little bit about what transitioned and what happened?
So I was thinking about getting into the haunt business when I was younger, but I didn't know how old you had to be. And my friends at that age were also in the haunt too. But that was Gold's Gulch era and everybody was allowed, But my friend Julia at the time, she was like, hey, you like spooky stuff. You do effects makeup and, it could be really cool. We could haunt together. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So she brought me in and I met all of the amazing managers and all the other actors. And I was like, wow, I didn't know there was more people that were just like me. And it was amazing because you come in and you're like, wow, I am one of the weirdos, but it's amazing to be one of the weirdos.
Because the weirdos are cool.
Mm-hmm. But it's funny because when I was younger, I didn't like clowns at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to be a clown to begin with. But then I saw the amazing playground, the sewer playground that Hellscream had made 2 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I need to play in there. So I had to go in there and I was like, I have to be a clown. And that's how she was born. She was a sewer clown. And I didn't have a name the first night, but then I was like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna bite you. So Nibbles.
And so Nibbles did come from like the whole biting sort of thing.
Yeah, people call me short a lot, so they say you're an ankle biter, aren't you? So I took that and I put it into the character. So whenever people are like, "Well, you're just so tiny, aren't you? You're not scary," I'm like, "I'm gonna get your ankles. Be careful."
I love how it really comes down to sometimes like improvisation that really helps build a character and create a character for who they are. And it seems like you really took that and flew with it, which is amazing.
I've always been really like good with comebacks and like talking and joking, and so when it came to improv, it wasn't that hard for me. So whenever people would like throw something at me acting wise, it would just be really easy to go ahead and just jump into it and throw my own spin on it. And it was
Hey, sorry, I have cats behind me, and they're in self-isolation with me, so they're a little rowdy sometimes, and I apologize.
okay.
But yeah, no, like building the community, acting with others, acting off of others. I feel like that also is a big part of all this.
Yeah, so, it is. I love acting with all of my peers.
I know you. This is not your only character. You do have several. You also have a great mental patient character.
Mm-hmm. Her name is Kitty. She was my very first character that I made at Hellscream. She was linked to one of our other actors, Julia, I had previously mentioned, is her patient Lilith 19's little sister. And so Kitty was basically just named because she was so out of her head that she would scratch herself and scratch other people, and she would just like quickly look around like a cat does and like kind of hide under stuff and shy away from people like cats kind of do when they don't want attention, you know. And that was one of my favorite characters to play. I don't play her as much anymore, but I played her and we had a skit with one of the other actors, Dollface, Nibbles previously mentioned. And it scared a lot of people. He would hold me over the staircase very safely. Trust me, we practiced a lot to make sure that we could do this. And we did it to where he would hold me just so I looked like I was dangling, but I wasn't quite. And I would scream and like beg for help. And people were like, get help for her. Oh my God, what's going on? I was like, well, you kind of signed up for this. You bought the ticket, buddy.
Yeah, that's a big thing, is that people come into our haunt, you know, they pay their way. And you know, sometimes we're there to scare people. Like that's part of us. Like,
I love the like real horror. It's not like all monsters and vampires and zombies. Sometimes it's like people like terrorizing other people, and you never know what kind of horror you could come up with. It could be psychological, it could be gore, it could be like supernatural. You never know what you could come up with, and the possibilities are endless.
Exactly. And when you have so many creative people in one space and they're all feeding off each other, it becomes like this great horrifying energy, which is fantastic.
I've learned a lot from everybody. Like Andrew Stroman and Julia and a bunch of the other makeup artists, they taught me how to bring in like a lot of my talent, even though I didn't know I had it. And it's really hard to say that because I've never really been confident, but it shows a little bit more than I used to have. And I know I like brought up a lot of my peers and stuff like that, and it's because they put such a big, like, they've been so supportive, and they were the ones who taught me that I could be anything that I wanted to, even while acting, you know. And you know, I've learned so much from makeup artists to the runners to the managers. I've learned so many different kinds of acting. I've been different places I didn't know I would be able to go to. It's really amazing what you could do with such an amazing company.
I'm not gonna cry because I love this company as much as all of our actors, because of how much everyone cares, and how much all the effort everyone puts into making sure everyone else is taken care of and doing their part really to give them a place to grow and be creative and be crazy and weird. Haunt
has done so much for me that I can't even explain. They've helped me at my lowest point. They've helped me grow into a great actor. I still have lots to learn from everybody, but I'm trying.
Well, and you're succeeding, so good job. So let's talk a little bit about, I'm not going to say the virus's name because they are demonetizing for that right now. which I get it. They don't want to spread false information. It makes sense. But everyone is really like in self-isolation, doing their own thing. What have you kind of been doing to keep yourself sane during this time of space?
So I clean stuff. I make a lot of art. I like to paint. I draw. I color in coloring books. Like I just do stuff to keep me busy, to make sure that I'm not thinking about all the negative stuff, because it'll pass at some point, and we just gotta kind of live like it's gonna be all okay. Otherwise, it'll just spiral, and it's not gonna be good for anybody.
Exactly. And being positive and doing what you can to do what you can to help out is huge.
Yeah.
Another thing was, oh gosh, I had more questions. I have so many questions. My brain's just blanking at the moment. I'm so sorry. But oh, okay. So like, as far as like spooky things are concerned during this time, because I know a lot of our community tries to stay up in the spooky because that's all we do. Like, talk a little bit about what you've been doing that wise right now.
Wise. I've been trying to come up with a new character for this new season, but I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to end up in the haunt, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I've been thinking about different makeup possibilities, different costume possibilities. I kind of, to stay in the spooky spirit, I watch horror movies and stuff like that to kind of just, Halloween will be here. It'll be okay. It's all right. And well, there's just a few things. Like, I'll watch the spooky side of like TikTok and stuff like that, and just see all the other haunters, and it's amazing. Like, you never know what other people are doing.
Exactly. And you're helping out a bit on our TikTok as well, which I very much appreciate. Which we've talked a little bit about earlier. But like, if you guys do want to follow it, Dolores is doing a fantastic job. It is, I believe, Hell Scream Entertain 7, at Hell Scream Entertain 7 on TikTok. So I'll put that in the description as well if you want to come see some of our amazing people and what they do on our TikTok as well. And then you're amazing. And you mentioned a little bit about costuming and stuff like that. And it's a little bit difficult to really come up with a costume if you don't really know where you're at, because we try to piece the costumes to the location in the haunt. Right. When it comes to creating or developing your personal character, what do you kind of think of when it comes to costuming and how to create all that in the look?
When I first look at the room, that's the first thing I do, is I look at the room and I'm like, okay, what would fit in here? If it's a OR, like a operating room, you would think like a doctor or a nurse or patient or some kind of surgery patient, something like that. And you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do. You're like, okay, I want to be a nurse. Now, what kind of nurse do I want to be? Do I want to be one of those really creepy nurses? Do I want to crawl? Do I want to, do I want to cover my head in bandages and walk around with just one eye? Or, there's a lot of different things that you could possibly do. You could, we have a couple people who do nurses, and they're all different. They're not the same. None of them are the same. We have a bunch of them. We have one with white hair, and she looks amazing. She's got these white contacts. And then we have another one, Nurse Payne, and she carries a little fake shot thing without like the needle, so it's just a plastic. So she's like, I've got your vaccine here, and it's so funny, but it's scary at the same time when she does it in her voice. But to me, it's like, that's great, and such different things. You don't have to do the same thing. You could do something completely off the wall.
And when it comes to like thinking of off the wall things, like because I know you come up with some really creative lines and comebacks and stuff like that, especially because you've also helped out in escape rooms before. Kind of explain like where you get like certain lines from, or like where certain lines in the past have come from for you.
So working in escape rooms, I worked with one of our other actors, Jeremiah, a lot, and one of our other he has the mohawk and the machete, which recently changed, but I acted with him quite a bit, and we got some lines down that we would go back and forth and bounce off of each other. And there was one in the pen where there's like a laundry basket, and that laundry basket is just big enough for me to sit in. It's like maybe this big by this tall, and I could just fit inside of it. I'm like, haha, I'm a basket case, you know? So it's like, that's another name for a lube, you know? So it comes up at the randomest times. And then there's a telephone in the pen that he's like, you want to call for pizza? And I was like, make sure it has baby koalas on it. And he's like, okay, baby koala pizza. I was like, okay, that's great, you know? So there's a lot of different things that you can come up with. And it's amazing, just like I said, the possibilities that you can do. There's just so many things. I like to come up with things for certain events sometimes. Like my first My Bloody Valentine event with Hellscream was in 2018 or 2019. Sorry, 2019, because that was after I started. And I had a green tutu that I would always wear, and I would say, roses are red, my tutu is green, you smell delicious, can I rip out your spleen? And people would like, oh my God, what? And they would like, oh my gosh, what? No. Or, you know, I like my spleen, you know?
Like that, like, don't, I, no. That's
it was the roses are wilted, the violets are dead, you smell much better when you're sleeping in bed.
That is creepy. That is so creepy.
In the dark too, so it was pretty great.
I will mention this because I didn't pull up my little slate that I usually do. Everything that we do say and do, and like the makeup and the props and everything like that is really for entertainment value. And
yeah, it's all fake. We don't mean anything we say. It's all to just get you all spooked, and you know, we won't take it too far. We know how to be respectful, you know, and it's not that hard to spook you without being disrespectful to people.
Exactly. There's no need to really say curse words and stuff like that, which I think a lot of people don't realize when they're doing their own personal stuff. But like also, it's like we take the utmost care in making sure our customers and our actors and everyone is safe. That is a big thing for us with Hellscream Entertainment.
Team was amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, and then so really quick, tell me. You kind of mentioned it before, but you have some favorite scares and some ghost stories. So whichever you would like to tell.
Let's see. It's two parts, but it's kind of short. So I was a runner last season, and my character was a witch, and I would run downstairs in our wine cellar. If you've been there, you know what it looks like, and it kind of looks like a maze. So we had 4 actors in there, and one of them, they said they heard me whispering in a corner to them to come over there. And I was like, whoa, what? I was literally on the other side of the floor near the clowns. And it was super scary because I walked past one of the other rooms, and to get to the wine cellar, one of my actors comes out and he's acting in the catacombs, and he goes, Dolores, were you calling me out of my room? And I said, no, that wasn't me. Wait, what? And he just kind of goes, yeah, so I'm not going to listen to that. So he goes back in his room, and I finally get to the wine cellar, and my actor in there tells me that they were calling to him from the corner. And I was like, that's the second person in the past 5 minutes that has said that. And I was so freaked out because that wasn't the first time that's happened. Before, I've heard other people being mimicked or something like that. And there's been times I've tried looking for people because I thought they were there, but they weren't there. And it was just, maybe it was me, but it's really spooky.
That is spooky. And I will mention, both our haunted houses, Hellscream and Haunted Mine, have been they are oh gosh, what's the word? Certified haunted. Thank you. By several different haunting teams, including Cheyenne Mountain Paranormal. They are fantastic, and they currently do our paranormal investigations at both locations. Yeah, that's terrifying. That's not something you want anyone to hear or deal with, especially when you're taking care of them.
There was one blackout night where I was in the rec room upstairs on the mental floor, and I was on a roller cart, like a medical cart, and I have a history of sitting in small spaces that most people don't like to sit in. So I was in the little compartment on the side of it, and the people come in with their flashlight and they're going like this with it, and they look to the other opposite side of the room that I'm sitting on. So they look that way, and I'm over here, and they go, "I saw something move," and I go, "Oh no, I was not over there. That was not me." So it's just kind of like, ooh, okay.
Like, please don't say stuff like that. I have to stay in this room.
Yeah, you don't have to stay here for the next 2 hours. Please don't do that.
So we are coming to the end of this awesome first monster checkup. I would love if you gave us some parting wisdom from both Dolores and from Nibbles separately, if you could.
So, from me, try to keep yourself sane inside and do stuff that keeps you busy and stay safe. Don't lick things. Wash your hands. Try to come up with something that keeps you going and keeps you motivated to see the world go back to what it was supposed to be, or what is it supposed to be. And then from Nibbles, if I can't lick things, neither can you.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Mrs. Nibbles, for helping us with this first monster checkup. And thank you everyone for watching. We will hopefully be doing this again very soon. So have a absolutely fantastic day.